everyone. This is Julie Hogue with Vegetarians and Meat Lovers Split Table podcast. And so we're always talking about food on the podcast, how to make food. And often I'm focusing on, how do you cook meatless with meat, vegetarian and non-vegetarian. But today we're doing something really super fun, and it's cookies. This person is so amazing. And I am, okay, so we're going to say her name is Kristi at Cookies on the Fly. And I came in contact with her because we were both at the book fair for grown-ups this summer in July, which was amazing. It was mind-blowing. But I have to show you what her cookies look like, right? Okay, so this is my book cover. So she made book cover cookies. How cool is this? Here's my book cover. I don't know if you can see that. And then here's the cookies. And then now here's other cookies, other book covers. I mean, you are incredible with frosting. I am massively blown away how amazing you do.
Thank you, Julie.
And how did you come up with this idea? Like, where were you because your cookies, yeah, I've seen so many different cookies, but yours are just really unique. You just have a lot of talent in what you do.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So for the book fair, I was coming up with different ideas for the cookies that I wanted to sell. I always sketch out everything I want to do, and I decided it would be easier to create cookies based on the genres that all of you were going to sell. So I was doing, thriller, romantasy, romance, all that kind of stuff. And I was trying to come up with specific my original thought process was, oh, I'll make book covers for, the big popular books that we have that everybody loves
Mm,
right now. But then I was thinking about it and I'm like, that's dumb. This book fair is literally for you all, the independent authors. So why
right.
don't I find a way to honor all of you? Because the whole point of the book fair was so that you could sell your books and hopefully sell out of your books. So that's kind of where I kind of ran with it. And I messaged all the list of authors that Indeed put out. And
Hmm.
there were I think there were over 50 of you that I messaged and said, this is kind of my idea. I originally started off with saying oh, I can either make your book cover or I had kind of started the blind date idea, and almost all of
Mm,
you that said yes to it were so excited about it. So that's kind of when I ran
yeah.
with the blind date. And I was just kind of trying to find a way to get the customers at the fair to not only come to me, but to come to you. And it was kind of that thought process of when you go to a bookstore, you have an idea of the book that you want to buy when you go in, but you're also open to other books. And
Yes.
I don't know about everybody else, but when I go to a bookstore, I get so excited about the prospect of a new book, and
Hmm.
I get all stressed out looking at all the books. So this kind of I was trying to take it away and create more control so you wouldn't be distracted by all the other cookies by, reading. So everybody had to read the description of the book, just how a normal blind
Mm,
book is, and then
hmm.
get the cookie, and then it turned into a scavenger hunt. I think everyone was excited for find a reason to go throughout the book fair and look at everything, but you had a main purpose to go and find your author first, and then
Hmm.
yeah.
And so this was put on by Alloy Brewing, right? And it was
Indeed.
hosted at the Minnesota State Fair, and it was book fair for grown-ups. And they did one in January, and it just blew their minds how quickly it grew and how big it was. And this one was even more so.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Indeed Brewing. Yeah. The first one I didn't get to go to. I was going to go just for fun. And I
Hmm.
saw a post about it at 3 p.m., I think. And
Mm.
the line was wrapped all the way around area twice. So, and then that was the whole point. They went to the state fair. And
Hmm.
so the next one, because I think Rachel wants to do even more. So she's going to need to go to
Hmm.
the convention center or a bigger place we're going to need the
I
whole
heard the
stairs.
Coliseum. I heard she was considered because that's actually air conditioned in the Coliseum,
Oh,
which brings me to my next question. Did your cookies melt in the heat? It was so hot in there.
I was a little worried, but they do pretty good. Everyone's a little afraid of them for melt. I'm always a little afraid. They did get a little smudged. The ones that I had the edible marker, there were a couple that
Oh.
I wrote things or did a little bit did some of the designs, and it was just I think it's just from people picking them up and moving them. There I did notice some
Mm.
smudges, but
Hmm.
completely sold out, so nobody was bothered.
I,
Thank
you
God.
know, when I when I saw the cover or the cookies you made and matched the cover, I was literally blown away. I was like, this is incredible. This isn't just like, this
Yeah.
isn't just like kind of cool. This is like really cool. This was like, it was amazing.
I probably mixed over 100 covers or 100 colors for all these covers because
Oh my
I was
gosh.
well, I didn't completely think this through because I was like, oh, some of the covers, like I'm sure there will be colors that work with other covers. No,
Yeah, yeah.
every cover
No,
had
no.
its own color
Oh
scheme.
my gosh. I can just imagine. And like what you're doing is actually it's art, right? Because you're taking an image and you're using a medium that just seems like really hard to work with, in my opinion, and you are making it look amazing. So that's my other question too is what kind of like did you have did you have to like create recipes to make frosting that you could do this with?
I I use okay, so for like my sugar cookie, I started out when I wait 5 years ago when I started this.
Mm,
I just looked on Pinterest for a regular sugar cookie recipe.
mm,
I had no idea what I do. I had no prior culinary background. I have an artistic background, and
mm-hmm,
I mainly do watercolors outside of cookies. And when I saw a video one time of somebody watercoloring with food coloring on a cookie, and I was like,
mm,
"Oh, this is cool." So that's
yeah.
kind of what got me interested in it. And I just looked on Pinterest for a regular sugar cookie recipe, and then that recipe has evolved over the years. Uh,
Mm,
and then my royal icing recipe, I use Jeannie's Dream meringue powder, and they
mm.
have a recipe on top of or like with their bags, and so that's also I kind of have an adaptation of that recipe. I have tweaked it to my own tastes. My husband is my taste tester, so it's pretty much to his taste because
Uh,
he likes sugar cookies way more than I do. So he's my taste tester. So if anyone doesn't ever like it, blame Nick.
yeah, it's his fault.
Yeah. And there was a time a couple of years ago, I was getting adventurous and I was trying out different flavors. So I did like a
Mm,
pumpkin pie cheesecake, I did a maple butter pecan, I did a funfetti.
mm,
Um, I was doing all different kinds, and I from time to time will do the separate flavors,
mm,
like at markets. But I'm just pretty much strictly back to my OG vanilla almond recipe because that is the
mm,
tried and true recipe. That is the one that I can work the best. It doesn't have the
mhm,
nuts sticking out, so it's easier
mm.
for me to separate. But yeah, I just kind of it started with this one really simple recipe, and I've just kind of tweaked it to my liking over the years.
Instacart, groceries delivered in as little as 1 hour. Free delivery on your first order $35. Save yourself that trip to the market. Instacart delivers groceries in as fast as 1 hour. They connect you with personal shoppers in your area to shop and deliver groceries from your favorite stores. Free delivery on your very first order over $35. Following the link in the show notes lets Instacart know we sent you and help support our show. Multiple stores available. Shop all of your favorites on a single order. The products you love from your local stores. Hand selected by shoppers based on your preferences. Delivery to your door in as fast as 1 hour. Instacart highlights deals to help you save money. Don't we all want that? Find everything you usually buy and get smart suggestions for new items. Instacart picks the freshest produce and keeps your eggs safe too. Woohoo! Those are things I want. Try it out today. You will love it. And so, do you make the cookies at home or do you go somewhere else to cook them?
Nope, I have a Minnesota cottage food license, so it allows me to bake
Mm.
in my house.
Oh,
And,
nice.
yeah, it's super nice. And so I literally get to roll out of bed and then come into my kitchen, and it's really nice.
did you have to modify your home to store these cookies once they're made?
We, when I first started this, we were in a one-bedroom apartment,
Mm.
and quickly realized that this is a little difficult. We were already, it was during COVID, we bought our house, it was during that big housing boom. And we
Yeah.
were already planning to buy a house. And
Mm.
it just kind of was in the back of my mind that we should maybe buy a house that would allow me a space to do cookies. So when we bought the
Mhm.
house that we're in now, our original plan was to turn there's like a little office downstairs into a cookie room,
Mm. Oh.
and but there was one little window, and while I thought that was going to work, quickly realized that's not going to work. And my
Mm.
husband was like, well, why don't we transform, like basically let's build this kitchen how you want it, and that'll
Mm.
work for you. So he made me this big giant island in the center. Our house is old, it's 100 years old. It was not
Oh.
going to work. So he completely redesigned it. We worked together,
Mm.
and he made me this gorgeous kitchen that I work out of, and that's kind of my home base. And then all my cookie cutters, because I have like 800 million of them, are downstairs in that original cookie room.
Mm.
And yeah, so it's just kind of that I made it work.
That's awesome. That's amazing. So kind of like that room became kind of more like storage rather than actual workspace.
Yes, yep, storage.
Yeah.
Yep,
Hmm.
definitely.
Now tell us about your name. How did you come up with your name for your cookie business?
I don't even I literally remember the conversation. I was with my in-laws at lunch, and I literally had flown up to Brainerd just for the day to have lunch with them, and
Hmm.
I think they were like giving me cookie cutters or something. I don't I was in the cities, and I was like, I don't have time to drive up, so I just flew up there because I am a flight attendant.
Hmm.
And when we were talking about the cookies and if I seriously was going to start this, my father-in-law was like, well, what are you going to call yourself? And I don't know. I was like something like with flight attendant too, and I jokingly was like cookies on the fly, and we were like laughing about it. And I was like,
Mm.
no, wait, I really do like that.
Wait a minute. Yeah,
I was like, that
that's
kind of worked.
perfect.
So that's I because the whole reason why I started all this is because I got furloughed from my flight attendant job and had nothing to do,
Mm. Oh,
and
sure. I
and
bet.
so I was like, well, I need kind of an ode to that. And that's just where I went.
It's just, I mean, I hate all that we went through with the COVID, but there are so many people that started businesses
Hmm.
during that time, which is really quite mind blowing, honestly.
It really is. It makes me wonder what the heck I was doing before.
Right.
I fly my trips and I come home and then I have cookie orders to do. So I'm like, what was I doing with all my free time
I
before?
know, right? What was my life like before? I can't even remember, right? Like it's just so different now.
I'm very thankful though, because as much as I love being a flight attendant, I don't really have any creative outlets. So this
Oh,
gives me an open to do something that's, because I always draw on my layovers or paint or whatever, and then this just gives
mm.
me a better way to funnel that
So,
creativity.
did you ever take like any, food decorating classes, or is this kind of just based on your art experience? Yeah,
Yep,
that's cool.
just
That's
straight up
amazing.
watched a lot of Instagram. I was watching what's that? There were all those like baking competition shows
Ah,
for
yeah.
hours, and
Hmm.
then
Hmm.
there's a couple cookie decorating shows that I was watching, and I was like, I think I could do this. And it was a big learning curve for sure. I'm still learning new techniques,
Hmm.
but
Well, you have amazing techniques, obviously. Now, so do you kind of work more with special orders, or how does it work for your business?
I do special orders,
Mhm.
and then I kind of switch during the holidays. So I pretty much end my custom orders in September and then focus on the holidays, October
Mm.
through December. So people will come to me. I do everything. I've done baby showers, bachelorettes, weddings, funerals. I've literally done everything under the sun.
Wow.
And
Hmm.
then the holidays, I do a lot of markets. Like in October, I'm actually doing some more book fairs, which I'm excited about, but they're
Yeah.
more like spooky themed. And then
Hmm.
December is my busiest month because I do advent calendars. So it's
Oh, yeah.
12-day advent calendars and they're little mini cookies behind each
Mm.
door. And so
Oh, fun.
I make thousands of mini cookies throughout the month of December.
Yeah,
So,
and that's so what in my mind I'm thinking, okay, so you can order, you don't want the cookies to get like stale, right? Do you find yourself in time crunches or have you figured out a system where you're like, okay, this is what I need to do and I need to do it now and like a structure.
yep, absolutely. Yep. So, because they are art, but you have to remember they are food. So
Right.
I tell myself they need 18 hours to dry, basically from the main layer of icing, the flood icing, that needs 18
Okay.
hours to dry. So I pretty much give myself
Mm.
between a day or two. So usually I'll bake the cookies the night before the decorating day. And then I pretty much decorate from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. or whatever I need to do.
Wow.
I try to do the bulk of it during the day just so I have that nice natural light to work with, especially because I record them for reels and all that stuff.
Oh yeah.
And it's just obviously easier to see with the daylight. So that's what I usually give myself. I usually give myself like a day and a half to work, and then almost all, people come to my house to pick them up when the orders are ready. And so I usually have pickup anytime after 1.
Hmm.
I try to go as late as possible because when I wake up and kind of look at everything, if there's any tweaks I need to make or add any designs, that I have enough time for it to dry, just like the little details. And that's so yeah, it's like a day and a half turnaround pretty much.
Yeah, so I can imagine it's very yeah, very structured and it has to be because it's food, yeah, will start to decay. I mean, it's not stable. You're not making like a picture or a statue out of clay, like this is
Mhm.
very time crunch oriented.
Yep, yep. And it's really hard. I would never say that I'm a perfectionist, but I feel like I have standards. And it's really
Mm.
hard when I catch a mistake that I made the next
Mm.
morning, and I'm like, so I have to kind of make it work. So I try to really look at everything the night before and be like, okay, are these perfect? Are these exactly how I want them? Because there's not a lot of room to mess up. I can't erase something or start over because if I gotta start over, I have to make more dough. I have to make more icing. It's very
It's
time.
ours.
Mm-hmm.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So then if people want to order from you, obviously you're on Instagram. What's your handle there and how would people like approach you and be put in an order?
It's Cookies on the Fly is my Instagram, Facebook. I also have a website, cookiesonthefly.com.
Mm.
And when I am open for orders, I will put an order form link in the bio of my Instagram or on my website. But since we're coming up to September, I'm about ready to close those order
Mm.
forms.
Mhm.
People can also message me first. I have a lot of people message me on Instagram just to check my availability. That's probably the best
Okay.
way to go about it, just to see if I have an open date. And
Hmm.
and I usually book out about at least a month before.
Mm. So I have to ask, when you were young, were you somebody who liked to bake, or is this like a total new like adventure for you to explore this?
I joke that I joke that I'm an artist that has to bake. Uh,
I like that.
it was always my sisters that were doing the baking. I love to
Mm.
cook,
Mhm.
but baking, I have a very small skill set. I can do the cookies, but like I see those cake decorators that make those big, gorgeous things, and
Oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh.
how do they do that? And I know I've had plenty of cake decorators say the same thing to me about cookies, but I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
no, you have to have your hands up. I'm like, how do your hands not fall asleep when you're holding the bags
That's what I'm
upright,
thinking. I'm like, how are they like not sore or like,
right?
like
Hunched over? Because I know that I have I'm like all hunched over the cookies, and I'm like, how do you do
yeah.
that? But no, this is completely a whole new thing to me. So, like I said, been a lot of trial and error. That first year, for sure, it was a big joke. I always had a gallon size bag on my counter of all my reject cookies. And
Oh.
my husband was so happy about it. He'd wake
Give
up
me the
at
rejects. Yeah.
you know, he'd wake up at 4 a.m. and I'd come back to bed and I would hear him munching. I'm like, what are you eating? He's like,
That
"Cookie."
is so funny. I'm
Now,
not eating anything.
yeah. Now he complains that I don't have enough rejects because I've got, like I said, I've got a whole system now. So I'll only make one or two extra cookies just in case. And I almost always give those away to the customers as like their bonus or
Oh,
their
sure.
car cookie is what I call it.
Oh,
And,
nice.
but now my husband's like, well, can you mess up a few? So,
I know he's like giving you the evil eye, staring you down. It's mess
yep,
up, mess up.
yep. When we were during the book, when I was preparing for the book fair, it's my oven is so weird. And this is just so true for anybody that's looking up recipes and trying to recreate things. Like everyone's kitchen is different.
Yes, this
As
is
you
so
are very
true.
well know, it doesn't matter what
Hmm.
recipe you look at. Like I know like where the hot spots are in my oven, like everybody else
Oh,
should.
yeah.
For
Hmm.
some reason, every fifth tray of cookies I put in, it cooks faster than any of the other. Which
Wow.
so I know that I normally bake my cookies between 9:15 and 9.5 minutes. And
Hmm.
I know every fifth tray at 8 minutes, I need to check on them because
Yeah, yeah.
if for some, it's a gas oven, who knows? Um,
Hmm.
but there every now and then I lose count and I will overbake the cookies. And during the
Yeah.
fair, I was making hundreds of cookies and
That's a lot.
it was just a whole day of baking. And I accidentally overbaked a tray. And my husband came into the room and he was like, yes, finally.
Finally, you screw up.
Yeah. But
You know, and this is so true about recipes because, and sometimes people think a recipe doesn't work or it's not good, but they also maybe don't realize that ovens are different. You
mhm,
know, there is a difference and it's very strange, but it's very true. And like I have the double oven where like I have a top and a lower. The top one is
dream.
smaller. It cooks so fast. Like, and sometimes I forget and
Mhm.
then stuff gets overdone because I even in my own brain, I'm like, well, I know this happens, but yet sometimes I forget and it gets done so much faster.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. When I first started, I was using an electric oven. And then when we bought our
Mhm.
house, I wanted a gas oven because I wanted the gas stove. Well,
Oh,
didn't think about that with cookies. I
oh,
was thinking
jeez.
about my private life. And then
Mm.
I was like, oh, I have to completely like redo all my recipes now because I need to do it.
Oh,
So
that's so
again, learning
painful.
curve. Yep. But it's okay. We've got it now.
What are some other challenges or successes that you've had since you've started this?
Oh gosh. Challenges. Um, oh, I don't know if these are really well, when so this is a big joke. The most requested thing I have for cookies are always people's pets, which I
Oh.
completely understand. They're everyone's babies. They are
Mhm.
the most fun. What's better than a little cat or dog cookie, which I agree. However, the most challenging thing to make to decorate on a cookie
Oh,
are pets. Not just because it's hard to translate fur onto cookies without making it look like a cartoon, but also
yes.
these are everyone's pride and joy. And it's the pressure that,
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
perfectly emanate, everyone's favorite person, favorite thing. So that is every time I get an order with an animal, I'm like, oh no, I'm excited to do it, but I know that those are the ones I have to take the most time to kind of just like relax and really think about what I'm doing. Those
Sure.
the biggest challenges. Um, One thing like with the business overall that I know a lot of Minnesota cookiers are dealing with. So every state has their own set of laws
Mhm.
behind cottage food law. And some states allow cookiers to bake and ship their cookies. And
Mm.
Minnesota is not that one of those states. They
Oh.
do not allow you to ship any type of baked goods.
Huh.
And so every year, everyone's always trying to fight that because, like, there are, I think Florida is allowed. I think Pencil or
Why would they not? I guess I don't
I have
understand.
no idea. And like, so those states, they have to put special packaging on the outside saying perishable
Sure.
or whatever.
Hmm.
But that is the hardest thing with this business is turning down orders because I can't ship. And there
So
are people
weird.
I know. And I think it's like, it's so hard and I feel so bad. Because people will specifically seek me out and be like, hey, I saw you
Oh,
watercolored this design on a cookie, or like you're the aesthetic that I'm looking for my wedding, or, things like
oh,
that. And I have to say,
yeah.
I'm
Can't
sorry.
do it.
Yep.
That
So,
is so crazy. That's like another weird, crazy law out there that just literally makes no sense.
right. Yeah. Because why can other states do it, but not us? I
Right.
do on the flip side, I guess it's okay. I'm all right with it because I know when people come to pick up their cookies, it literally goes from my hands to their hands. So
Very
I know I've
personal.
done, yes, and I've done everything that I can to make sure that they are perfect, not they didn't break, nothing like that. For
True.
shipping, I know for those 3 days in transit, I would be so nervous because
Oh, yeah.
I've yelled at plenty delivery people who just chuck the boxes onto my front step.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I guess that takes some stress out of my job. But it would be cool if at some point we were allowed to be able to do that.
Right. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's a tough thing. And it also kind of will, I don't know, sort of restrict your growth a little bit, right? Because you have to sell local pretty much.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
Hmm.
And I don't know, like, what happens is we love Minnesota. We're gonna stay in Minnesota forever, I'm sure, hopefully. uh,
You
and but like, what happens if we have to move and then I want to keep doing cookies? Then I've got a whole nother client. Like I would have to
have to start
rebuild.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what about all those customers that I left at home? That's just those are just things you kind of think about that restrict us by having that law.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Now, how about any successes or things you're
Well,
proud of?
well, everyone knows the story, I feel like, for the most part, but I really started taking this whole thing seriously because in 2020 I entered the state fair. It's the novice cookie decorating competition. You could not have been selling by then, and all that. And so I was just that was still when I was just playing around, and I entered the competition and I ended up winning. So that was when I was like, okay, I really need to maybe sit down and think about taking this seriously because it's one thing from hearing like your friends and family tell you that you're good, but then from having a
Right.
whole entire state fair panel say, "Oh no, you were the best." It felt pretty good. So that was I started everything off with a bang for sure. Um,
Hmm.
and then one of my amazing customers and also flight attendant friends is really good friends with Rebecca Coles, who
Mm.
has her like cookie. She does everything. It's everything. Everyone calls her the Minnesota Martha Stewart. And
Mm.
so a couple years ago, she came and did a cookie segment on me in my kitchen, and we baked cookies and decorated Valentine's Day cookies together. So that was also a very big highlight. It was really
Yeah.
cool to see myself on the news. It was funny. So they aired that segment around Valentine's Day. I think it was
Mm.
2 or 3 years ago now. I can't even remember. Um, and it aired on the day they said they were going to. I think it was like a month before Valentine's Day, and I got a million orders because that was I had this little showstopper Valentine's Day cookie that you broke open, and then there was a love letter inside.
Oh, cool.
And so that was supposed to be the big thing that I was selling, da da da. And so they told me, okay, we'll air it on this day, so I could have my orders, like my order link ready to go. And I
Hmm.
got so many orders that day. It was amazing. Shut down the orders because I was like, okay, this is the biggest I've ever had. But then
Right.
they re-aired it a week later.
Oh
And
boy.
I had people calling me, messaging me, emailing me, being like, how do we order these cookies? And I didn't know that they were going to show it twice.
Oh boy.
And I was like, oh, I need a whole team. Like I'm like,
Right.
I'm a one woman show. No, I'm so sorry. Like I didn't know they were going to air it twice. Uh, but that was very, very cool to see. I had friends and family. I had people tuning in from all different states that were sending me pictures. It was cool. Um, but yeah, I literally, this is very cheesy and corny, but just getting like messages of people with the cookies at their parties, or when they give them to people, like just hearing how much that person liked having their cookies at their event or as a gift. It's cool because I don't always get them.
Hmm.
So when I do get those little messages, it definitely warms my heart because I did these are little pieces of art. I put my heart and soul into making each one of these cookies. So to hear that people appreciate it, it's a it's nice.
Oh, absolutely. So everybody listening, give her feedback. Tell her you like it. Take
Tell me
pics
how much you
and
love your cookie.
post it. Take pics and post. I mean, because it is really cool, and I can see why people would like that, especially if you're really catering to whatever it is that they want. And then obviously you're so talented. It turns out so well. Like that's just awesome. So, do you have any favorite themes that you like just really love to do?
I love to do bachelorette themes because those
Mm.
are the usually like just the most fun and everyone is just
Yeah.
high energy. Because I
Hmm.
especially the after dark part of them is the
Yeah, for
most
sure.
fun. Because I love to do them, but I do a lot of baby showers.
Mm.
So when I get to switch that up, those are my favorite. I oh god, I like everything honestly. Um, but the baby showers, or not the baby shower, but I do like them. But the bachelorette's probably my favorite.
Hmm.
I do like favorite thing sets.
Mm.
So this is like the one opportunity where people get to give me multiple ideas, and then I will do almost all this different cookies. Um,
Mm.
and that's just kind of fun because I've done one set was like somebody's cat, the earring that the guy always wears, ramen,
Mm.
a sports, like it's just like it's fun because it's just you just kind of get to see the person's personality through those favorite thing sets, and they're usually just
Hmm.
a random hodgepodge of ideas, but they're
Hmm.
interesting and the most fun. Uh, but I do also love these markets. When I do these markets, book fairs, everything, it's when I get to do all of the ideas that have been stored in my head over the years that I have been
Hmm.
waiting for a set to do that I might not have been able to do. I get to do it for the fair
Right.
or the market. So those are probably where I get to be the most creative because it's every design that you buy at a market, that is like what I've been like pining to do.
Yeah.
So those are that's when I kind of get to be the most creative and the ones I look forward to the most.
That's fun because yeah, you're really creating art there where if because you're just kind of creating what's from your brain, it's not a specific thing, right? You can just do whatever you want.
Hmm.
But also, I really think that's cool the personalized cookies where you can really personalize it. And that, everybody loves that kind of thing. Like it's super fun, it's personable, it's about the person, like you said, and it's just so catered to them and people
Hmm.
just love that kind of thing.
They do. The cookies I've been doing the most right now are like the silhouettes of people.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's not kind of like what I did for your book, actually exactly what I did for your book cover. So
Mm.
it's
Mhm.
people, but not necessarily like facial features because
Yeah.
centimeter big, but people love that. So people will send me their favorite picture of the person they're celebrating, and then I recreate that on a cookie. And those have
Mm.
been the most, like this year, I think I have done the most that I have ever done. Or like they
Mm.
like them in kind of like a Polaroid
Mhm.
type look.
Sure.
But yeah, because everybody wants the personalized part of it. Like it makes it so
They
special.
do. Hmm. So you have different shapes of cookie cutters, like you said. So what kind of shapes? Do you have like all different kinds of shapes, holiday shapes, and all that kind of stuff?
I have I have everything. If I don't have it, I can
Hmm.
make it because my husband bought a 3D printer like a
Oh,
year into this.
nice,
He saw how
nice.
much money I was spending on cookie cutters.
Yeah.
He was like, "There's when I first started I didn't have any cookie cutters. I had like um what does everybody have from Walmart? It's either like Wilton or Sweet Sugar Bell,
Yeah.
those like bulk
Hmm.
that we all buy from like those big brand stores. Those are
Yep.
what I started with, and then I realized if I didn't have it, I would draw it out on paper and then cut it out. And
Oh,
my
mhm.
husband's like, "There's got to be a better way to do this." So he bought us a
Yeah.
3D printer. And so now so if I don't have it, I'm like, "Hey, can you print this cutter for me?"
That's
So
really cool.
there have been some nights where he's like printing cutters for me at like 1 a.m. because I came up with some random idea. So
That's really cool. I never
it's
even
so
thought of
nice.
such a thing.
Yeah, yep, it is. It is that is the best investment we ever made was that 3D printer.
Because you literally can make anything, right? Any shape, any design.
Literally. And there are some we call them plaque cutters. So they're just, like the squares, the circles,
Hmm.
there are plenty of designs that I think look better on a plaque cutter. Plus then there you get a little bit more cookie than if it was actually
Mm,
the item cut out.
sure.
So there are some, so I'm like, this would look better on a circle or whatever. But no, there are plenty that I'm also like, no, this would look better if it was just straight up. And it's easier because you have the border to follow, and so it kind of takes the work out of it for me. Especially if
Right,
you need
right.
a million of them, it's a little bit easier. Yeah.
Now, what are they made out of? They're easily washable, I take it? I mean,
Yeah,
they must be,
it's
right?
oh my gosh, I can't remember the acronym now. It's like FLA. Oh my gosh, it's
Some
food safe. It's food safe plastic
mm,
filament that we buy. You have to
okay.
you have to buy the specific ones. So you can't put them in. Some of them you can put them in the dishwasher, but I don't. I hand wash everything.
Sure.
But it's a lot better because some cookie cutters are made out of the metal. And if you don't wash them right away, it's in your sink and it rusts, and then you can't use them, so you throw them away. So this is almost like
Right.
they're having the plastic. You just have to be careful that they don't melt or things like that. But it's awesome. They're so nice. Whoever created that, thank you.
I know, right? Yeah, like I have metal cookie cutters that were like my mom's, like when I was growing up. I still have all those cookie cutters and they're super fun to use. I use them with my kids all the time now. And some of them are the old school like metal, right? But yeah, you
Mhm.
can't let them sit around in liquid.
Nope.
You're gonna wreck them. They need to be washed right away. And then, yeah. So I can totally imagine that. What a cool thing though. Like
Mhm.
you can to know in your brain as an artist that you can literally make any shape that you want. I mean, that's like, what clay. I mean, eat better than clay because you can keep reusing it once you've made it, right?
Yep. Yeah, it's great. And it's nice because a couple weeks ago, I was making a wildflower set, and it's
Mm,
like a bunch of wildflowers, like a bouquet. And the one
nice.
I had worked. I could make it work, but it wasn't that correct outlines for the type of flower. Like, I was using like a daisy, and like it
Mhm.
just wasn't gonna be exactly what I wanted. And he was like kind of looking over my shoulder at my sketch pad, and he was like, "Well, we can just tweak this one." And then Lily left for 20 minutes and came back and literally recreated the one that exactly that I wanted. So I was like,
Wow.
it's so nice. So he makes all my dreams come true, which makes everybody else's dreams come true. It's so
Yeah,
nice.
he helped make your kitchen. He helps make
Right.
cookie cutters.
Yep. Yep.
That's really cool. And what's really cool about that too is you really can really personalize it. I have to ask you, what do you think of yourself as a cookie artist, or what kind of like terms do you think of yourself in now?
I say cookie artist or cookier is what
Mm,
I say. But yeah, cookie artist is kind of I don't want to say I'm a baker because I don't do everything, It's like I need to be more
hmm.
specific. So definitely cookie artist is definitely how I feel.
How many of your customers tend to be people who already know you?
At the beginning, everybody, because at the
Yeah.
beginning I started it on my personal Instagram, and then
Hmm.
it's definitely turned into word of mouth. I
Hmm.
will get people to be like, "Oh, I saw your cookies at so and so's baby shower. Or I had your cookie at so and so's wedding," and so it's just kind of gone from there. Uh, and so now, it's probably flopped. I probably have I
Hmm.
still have all of that support from the friends and family, but my clientele has definitely doubled at least since we've been here. Especially too, I had when we were in the apartment, we were over in St. Paul, and so I had a lot
Mm,
of customers over there. And then when we moved across the river,
mm.
I had to start it again in Minneapolis. So even that, I felt like I had a bulk St. Paul customer base, and now it's shifting over to Minneapolis. When I do those markets, it definitely widens my net even more.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So now I think the bulk of my customer base is still probably St. Paul area, and then definitely like west. Like I get a lot of people from like Chanhassen, Chaska, like randomly people from
Hmm.
over there,
Hmm.
Edina, all that. And yeah, but I think it's definitely flopped. I think I have a bigger net over here now.
Yeah, and that's so awesome because it means that your business is growing and becoming successful. And that's just that's your dream, right? Like that's what people who start something, a business, want to see happen.
Yes, yep, yeah, definitely.
Now, what kind of markets do you go to? How do you find them? And how would somebody find out ahead of time where you're going to be if they wanted to come check out your cookies?
I post a lot.
Mhm.
A couple authors were like, "Oh my gosh, you post every day." Like when I'm getting ready for a market, I know that I don't want to completely rely on the marketing behind all these other fairs and markets.
Sure,
Um,
sure.
and I don't do a lot of them. I do them mainly in the holidays, and my customers know that. So I think
Okay.
they all kind of look out for it too. So I will make sure that I am posting, weeks in advance about it. I just literally this week and last week, I just signed up for three more markets, and
Mm.
I asked all the organizers, okay, when can we start posting about this? Because I'm ready, because I know that's all on me. Like that's also like being a small business owner. You know that
Yes.
all if
Hmm.
you don't have a big team that's gonna spend all the time. Like I am the baker, I am the artist, I am the social media manager. I am,
Marketer, advertiser. Yeah.
exactly. Yep.
Mhm.
So the second that I know that I'm doing a market and I know we can start posting about it, I do it, and I will try to engage people as much as possible. I'll try to do little blurbs. I'll make cookies that I'm not going to sell, but like just for engagement for fun. I will post it beforehand, and so I really put a lot of it in. And I've had multiple people at markets tell me that. Oh my gosh, like there are people that came here that they said they came here specifically for the cookies. So I know
Nice.
it's working. I'm proud of myself. I did, at the book fair, I had people coming, unfortunately, after we ran out of the blind date cookies. I had people coming at like 3 or 4 o'clock that were like, we came here specifically because they saw all of
Oh,
you posting
and you
about
were
them.
out.
And I was
Yeah.
out, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. Here are other cookies you can get. But so especially in today's day and world with how much we're obsessed with our phones and social media. Like it is a
Mhm.
great tool, but you gotta put a lot of effort. I don't know how these influencers do it, like posting multiple times a day. Um,
Right.
but social media, and then that's how I find the markets. I've also with like the other small business um other small business that I've done markets before. I will message them too and be like, hey, like I have some free time in September or October. Do you know of any markets that are happening that are still
Oh, sure. Hmm.
accepting these book fairs? So there are two authors from the book fair, that from Indeed's book fair, that messaged me or talked to me at the book fair and said that they were hosting their own book fairs later on. So
Nice.
that was nice. Yeah. So I'm going to do two of theirs. And then the other one that I randomly found the week before Halloween, which that's what Halloween cookies are. I love Christmas.
Oh.
They're fun, yada, yada. But Halloween is my favorite holiday.
Mhm.
So I was
Mhm.
like, I was setting out to find Halloween markets this year.
Yeah.
So I found a few. So there is one the week before Halloween that I will be doing. I will be making cookies for. So I'm very excited about that. But that one I just found, like Instagram and Facebook will randomly be like, "Oh, are you interested in
Mhm.
this event?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am. Now let's see if I can be a vendor."
Right. Like, and that is the beauty of things. Like I've found a lot of, book fairs and stuff on like threads and as well. And generally I find a lot of them on threads. And then, you can apply to get into the book fair. And so that is interesting how, yeah, you're basically growing because of social media, because you see it on social media. If you're not on there, you're not going to see this stuff.
Nope. And I will tell my people, especially with these advent calendars, because I do pre-orders and they sell out so fast.
I
And so
bet.
I will set timers or like countdowns for people. And I tell my
Mm.
customers, if you want me to email you the link to do it, I will do all that, because there are people that have messaged me and be like, I missed the date or I got busy, or but I'm like, because I'm constantly posting for a week or two being like, this is the time I'm going to release the link.
Right.
This is the time. Be on your phone. If you need me to email it, I'll email it. And there are also people that I know, like last year I emailed one of my customers because I know she orders an advent calendar every single year for her daughter. And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see an order go through, which is fine. You know, sometimes people
Yeah.
they
Mm-hmm.
decide they're over it, they don't want it anymore. But I know how loyal of a customer she is. And I emailed her and I was like, no pressure, but just in case you were hoping to order one, I have like 5 left and I don't want you to miss out. And
Right.
she messaged me back right away and was like, oh my God, like she was doing something where she just wasn't on her phone and she completely forgot, which is totally understandable. But she was so
Right.
thankful that I had messaged her. So, yeah, it's, it's a lot. I have like a whole list of, things I'm like, okay, I got to be thinking about constantly. You have to be a great multitasker for sure.
You do. And again, you're on the timeline of, you have to post at a certain time, tell people, you have to, do it now. So that's it's a lot to manage, right?
Yeah, yeah, I would love
Mhm.
to have a whole team.
I
Sometimes,
know, right?
well, I do. I like the control that I have, behind most of it. But some days they're like, oh, I wish I had somebody to do this for me.
I know. I totally understand that. And I think that's what some people, when their business grows and they do hire someone, that's it's kind of like a growing pain to go through to like let go of something and be like, okay, I'm gonna trust this person to do
Right?
this thing.
Yep.
But a wonderful thing to be able to do such a thing as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So where do you see yourself going in the future? Do you have any ideas or wishes that you'd like to see for the future?
I don't know. I think about this all the time. 'Cause obviously, you're supposed to have a business plan and just kind of like goals for yourself every year.
hmm
I love where I'm at. I know how much I can do in the set amount of time that I give myself. And I've kind of like figured out, I know how fast I can go and how many I can crank out. So as I keep it as a one woman show, I pretty much hit where I can be. And I'm happy with it, with where I'm going. Uh, if I always think about this because the whole reason why I started this is because of COVID, because we had this big huge thing. Being in
hmm
the aviation industry, I do know that as much as I would love to say that I have job security, COVID proves that, I might
True.
not at times. And it's even funny when you talk to flight attendants, they bring up, every 5 to 10 years, there's always something big, with our industry, with, 9/11, and it's just, you never know what's going.
Yeah.
So I always had that in the back of my mind with cookies because I don't want to say a fallback because it's not a fallback. It is,
hmm
my second job. But I know that we will always have celebrations. We will always be, honoring people. And
Yes.
even if we can't be together, kind of, this was the whole point of this was that we, couldn't go to
Right.
people's weddings. We couldn't go to baby showers. So people were buying cookies to drop off at friends' houses to celebrate their birthdays that we should have been celebrating. And
Right.
that's why I think, I always am wondering, like, are people ever going to be sick of cookies? But I don't think that they ever will. It doesn't seem, we're always going
Mm-mm.
to be celebrating something.
Yep.
Um, so I keep that in the back of my mind. If God forbid anything were to happen with flying,
hmm
I would absolutely take this and run with it, and I would hire a team for sure. But
Yep.
I would want to do more than just cookies, just me decorating cookies. I think I would turn it into like a whole thing. Um, During the holidays, I do cookie decorating classes, which
Oh,
I would think I would spin, I would want a space where not only could people come and buy cookies from us and orders, but also that they could come and decorate cookies and learn. And I would just,
yeah.
it's just one of those like, just kind of like, oh, chatting over coffee, like, oh, what would I do? And so but I really do think that I would need a space where I could do multiple things that are all surrounded around cookies. And that's probably where I would go if I wanted to build off of this, is the idea, but we'll see. For right now, I'm happy to be doing what I'm doing, uh,
hmm
and just kind of keep making those little mini cookies for the advent calendars and everyone's dog cookies.
Well, and as you're talking, I'm envisioning, something like a party, a little kid party or a bachelorette party. Hey, let's go decorate cookies. when my stepsister got married, she did a thing where we were painting something. We were
Yes. Yep.
right. So
Yep.
then that makes me think that would be an ideal thing too, also for like, a bachelorette party to make
Mhm.
these good, and you could personalize it. Like there you go. You got your personalization. Like people
Exactly.
will love to do that.
Yeah, that's absolutely where I was thinking about, because when I do these cookie classes, I usually do them at breweries,
Oh,
and
sure.
so it's kind of like, oh, everyone can have a drink because a little liquid courage kind of
Absolutely. And that's
calms you
fun. And
down.
that's fun too, right? It's just fun.
Right. Yep. And then I always create a theme. It's like we've done Thanksgiving ones, we've done Valentine's Day ones, we've done,
Mm.
but I'm like, you literally, I could come up with, you could do a book theme, you could do like, but you're
Hmm.
right. But then people could come in and book it for a special occasion, and then I could personalize those specifically for whatever thing that we
Like, what do
expect.
you want? Right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
See, this is, yeah, that is it. If I ever like get the itch for something different, that is absolutely what I would do. I would do like
Hmm.
half bakery and then half this, but I would have to find somebody else to make more baked goods, or I have to,
Yeah. Hmm.
I think the absolute dream would be have somebody making, like, baking and making the dough, and then just letting me do the creative part. That would be the absolute dream.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, for sure. And at that point you could do that. You could hire people for the parts you don't like as much, right? And obviously not the artistic parts, because that's what you love and that's what you're good at. So you'd want to preserve that.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like envisioning this, like how fun would that be? I would love to go to a bachelorette party where you get to like, drink a glass of wine and like make a
Right.
cookie how
Right.
and
Right.
then eat it. Like that's
Yep.
just great.
And I always, at these classes, I always tell people, because the first cookie that everyone starts on is always the worst one. But I'm like, you know what? You're getting into the groove. And I'm like, and the best part, unlike, when you're painting on a canvas, you get to eat this. So even if it looks ugly,
Right.
you get to eat it at the end. It's fine. Like, I'm like, people are always like, get upset because, they want to do good. I'm like, it doesn't matter. It's food. You get to eat it. Like,
Yeah, you
you
can't
want
keep it
to.
forever.
Yeah.
Take a picture and then eat
Yep. That is
it.
literally so funny. So today, actually, funny enough, today's my fifth anniversary. So, which
Oh,
I didn't realize
congratulations.
it, and when we rebooked this, I didn't realize the date.
Oh, right. Like,
And
oops.
but I've been joking with people for years, because everybody always tells me they save a cookie from their set. They're always like, like, oh, there was just one that I couldn't eat. And so I'm gonna do a play off of that today with the giveaway for my fifth year. I'm like, I finally have been saying for years. Everyone says they save a cookie, they've got it in their freezer, they've got it on their mantle, and
Right.
I'm running with that for today for my anniversary.
That's very cool. That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think what you do is amazing. And I just think, just even like say someone gave me a gift of like, at my birthday and it was just all these decorated cookies that related to me somehow, or you know what I mean? Like there's just that
Mhm.
would be like so exciting to open and like be like,
Right,
wow, like
right,
there's so much you could do with that. It's just
right.
amazing.
No, it's fun. It's so much fun. It's really cool too to see what everyone's ideas are, and
Hmm.
it's fun. It's so much fun.
It is. Well, is there anything that you wish you had done differently? Or do you feel like it's going real good now? You're in a good groove and
I don't think I regret anything, because if there was something that I did wrong or messed up on, I learned from it, and then
Mhm.
and which made me better. So that's literally my whole thing with life. I have zero regrets about anything, because it made me who I was, and I've been a better cooker. There are plenty of times when I have messed up, or you know, I've messed up, like, which, knock on wood, I haven't messed up too much. But there, every now and then, there is a time when I might have wrote the wrong name, or like, and that taught me,
Mm,
like, okay, take a deep breath, take a step back. That's why, I finish in the evening, and I give myself that time in the morning. Like, I've learned from all my mistakes, and I know I'm going to keep making mistakes, but we're all
mhm.
human.
Yep.
Thankfully, I have amazing customers that are so sweet. When I always make an extra cookie just in case something happens. It's kind of
Right.
my safety net.
Hmm.
Because there is going to be something that goes wrong, or there are some days
Yes.
when the weather's not cooperating. I remember I had a huge order for this amazing lady, and there was so much pressure on it, and with these big huge orders, I love them, but again, you got to do it in such a small time, and you're just like rapid fire
Yeah, kind of
going.
crazy.
Yes,
Hmm.
and unfortunately, the weather has a horrible, it affects how your icing dries sometimes because of humidity
Yeah.
levels. And it was just one of those days that it was not supposed to be this humid and this wet, and the icing was just not shutting up.
Oh,
And it very
frustrating.
rarely happens, but every now and then it just it's science. Who knows.
Nothing you can do about it.
Right. And I had messaged her, and we were supposed to meet on at this time on this day. And I was like, there are like 40 cookies left that I need to scrape and redo because they just are not doing what I want to do. Like
Mm.
what time restraint are you on? And thankfully she was like, no, 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 like we can make this work. So I literally like busted my butt for 12 hours. Like,
Oh,
I was just like, I had everything under a fan so that it would go faster. And,
yeah, yeah.
it was just, but like she was so understanding and it was amazing. So thank God I have the best customers that will work with me. But yeah.
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
I thought of a question as you were talking. Have you ever like thought about trying to approach a store or a bookstore to be like regularly be giving them cookies? Or is that like too much to kind of add in at this point?
So part of our cottage license, we can't. You
Oh, okay.
physically hand your cookies off to the person that ordered them.
I
So I
see.
couldn't sell them I did think about it at first. I was like, oh, because there's my neighbor owns
Yeah.
a coffee shop, and I was like, oh, I
Right.
could sell them with her. And nope, I have to physically be there to sell them if I sell
So you would
them.
have to like go there and set up a table and sell. Okay.
I wish that
Wow.
would be so nice. Yeah, that's another thing that we've all wished that we could get changed because again, some states allow them to do that. You can sell like it's like a bulk order or something like
Yeah. So
distributed.
bizarre. What is wrong with
I
okay.
know.
It just
Because
doesn't make any sense.
what's the difference between us and like Target selling? We have to list all our ingredients. We tell you the date that we bake
Yeah.
them on. Like when you buy baked goods in the store, you don't know what day they were baked. Like we are
No.
almost more precise because I had to label everything. Uh,
Right.
yeah, I wish maybe one day.
Bizarre.
Hmm.
Very bizarre.
Yeah,
Well, hopefully it'll change one day. I can't imagine their reasoning for such a thing. So,
I know. Yep. I would much rather buy a baked good from somebody that I know where it came from and what they put into it, instead of a mass produced
right. Oh, for sure. For
overpriced
sure.
tea that's, not nearly as good as all of ours. So I
Right. Absolutely. Well, is there anything that we didn't touch on that you had wanted to mention or say before we end?
don't think so. We hit a lot.
We did. It was really fun. I loved learning
It
about it.
was.
It's just so
Thank you.
interesting.
I'm so glad we could do this. I'm glad that I got to meet all of you authors. Like, thank you for welcome me with open arms into the book community because this was truly the most fun. Like I also it was really bad because I was reading all the descriptions of your books and my TBR just got 20 times longer than it
Oh,
already is.
yeah.
So that was the hardest thing was decorating these cookies and being like, oh, I want to read this book so bad.
It's such a unique idea. I just think it's super fun. Like I see so many, blind book with a day, blind date with a book or whatever. But in to do it with a cookie that's decorated. I mean, that's just such a unique, fun idea.
Yeah, it was fun. I was thinking about it and I was like, this probably wasn't the best marketing for myself because I'm decorating these gorgeous cookies, but then I'm hiding them. But no, it turned out way better than I imagined. We sold out in an hour and a half. Like
That is
and I
amazing.
and I made over, well, I don't think any of us expected 8,000 people at that book fair.
No,
So
no.
I was really hoping like when they said 3,000 and I was like, okay, 500 cookies will be fine for 3,000. Not everybody's gonna want a cookie.
Right.
And then 8,000, I'm like, oh no. I was
I
literally
mean,
I was decorated until 2 a.m. the night before the book
oh
fair.
my
I'm like,
gosh.
I gotta do whatever. So
Well, if that, if you ever if you do it again, I mean, maybe you could hire somebody like on a temporary basis to help you with a specific job like that, right?
oh, I know. I had my younger sister. She decorates cakes. Like in
Hmm.
high school. She used to work in a bakery, and so she baked all the cakes and she baked everything. but she
Hmm.
she lives in Cleveland, so she's like, I'll fly out and I will bake
Oh,
for you. And I'm like, you know what? For the if indeed, or I'm sorry, Inbound wants me back, I will absolutely, I will probably take her up on that for sure.
yeah, yeah. That would be a good idea because then you already know how fast it went. So then you just have more potential to sell more if you have someone helping you then because you know
Right.
now your max, right? Like,
Yes.
yeah.
I know,
Hmm.
and I was thinking about my friend Hillary who came out to help me with the book fair. She was like, "Oh my,"
Hmm.
we were like joking, like, "Oh my God, like it's great that we sold out, but now we're missing out on 2 hours of selling cookies." So
Yes.
she was like, "Okay," she's very type A and was like, "All right, game plan for the next one. What are we gonna do? What could we have done differently?" So we were going over it, and I was like, you know what, like I honestly, I plan out every day. I know how many cookies I can decorate in a day, and
Yep.
the book cover cookies are kind of what derailed me a little bit because I was I put I slowed down on purpose, but I was like, these are the showstoppers. These are the ones that everyone is going to come for because this is what we've been advertising the most. So like
Right.
these have to be perfect. These have to be the
Hmm.
best. And
Right.
so
Right.
I definitely spent a little bit more time than I had planned on
Hmm.
the book cover cookies. Again, no regrets. I'm glad I did because they all came out so well.
Hmm.
But that is one thing that I'm like, okay, I think I need to allocate 2 days because I stayed up for a full 24 hours to knock them all
Ooh,
out. Because I wanted
yeah.
them all together, with all those pictures, I wanted them all done at the same time. And so that I could
Right.
get everyone. And I'm like, okay, I think I need to spread it out over 2 days. If I
Yeah.
that many, which I would if I do another book fair of that scale, I
Hmm.
I think I would I would have to make double what I did. So
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is, if they keep growing, it probably will be even bigger. Because if they get a bigger venue, they're going to add more authors, which is going to draw more people, more vendors.
uh,
It's just everything's going to get bigger.
and I didn't even have not every author said yes. I think I only
Oh,
did I think was there supposed to be 70 authors? I can't remember now.
I can't remember either.
It
Yeah.
was so whatever it was like if there were 70 authors, I think 50 said yes. There were some
Mm.
that were just like, "Oh, sounds great," but then didn't respond
Didn't
after
follow
that,
through. Right.
which is
Right.
fine. But
Yeah.
then some people did tell me no, they can't do it because they don't own the rights to their cover art, which
Oh, right.
totally fair. And also the reason why I wasn't going to do some of these big cookies because you get into licensing and that gets tricky. So
Hmm.
I totally that's completely fair. And I even told some of them like, oh, if you want to describe your book, I can do an interpretation. So that way you don't lose out. Because
Right.
I was like, at the time I didn't know it was going to be this big, but I'm like, I think this is going to be a big deal. Not to toot my own
Mhm.
horn, but like
But yeah.
I think this is going to be fun. I think people were going to be super excited about it. And there were still
Oh,
some people
yeah.
that were like, nope, thank you. I'm like, totally fine. Okay.
Hmm.
So, and I did have a couple people at the fair, a couple authors who said no, come up to me and be like, I messed up.
Yeah. Yes.
I was like,
But-
it's okay. Don't worry. I totally, I understand.
it's such a total mess up because that's such a cool thing that you did. It was just, I don't know,
But I mean,
amazing.
after I sent all of you those photos, you all just rapid fire posted, and it was so cool. I had friends messaging me being like, the authors are going crazy. I'm like, I know.
Mhm.
This is so cool. Like, can you guys do this all the time? This was amazing. It was like within like 5 hours, I had like 50 posts just going like left and right. It was so cool. It was so cool. And it was fun. So
That's very
you
awesome.
all did the work too. It wasn't just me. You all put in a lot of work also.
How could we not? It's so cool. I mean, it's just, it was just so awesome. I thought it was such a great idea. I'm like, wow, this is a fantastic idea. Like it's just really fun and unique. Like I said before, I just think it's really special. It's something you don't see, right? Like it's not a thing.
Yep. Yeah.
It's
There's a cookier in Tennessee who I think she just started a couple months ago, and
mm.
she is doing a book fair next month, I think.
Mm.
And she messaged me and she was like, I saw this on TikTok, which I barely post on TikTok. I was like, oh, and she was like, I saw all of this in Tennessee. She was like, I saw like people were posting about this. She was like, I'm
Yeah.
working a book fair. Can you help explain? Because she's like, is it okay if I, use this idea? I'm like, absolutely do it. So I've been working with
Yeah.
her, kind of telling her exactly what I did. And so it's cool. It'll be cool if it kind of takes off.
Yeah, that's really fun. And I feel like the book fairs are really taking off too. I don't know, I just like they're all over and they're just like more and more and more. And it's great because what I think is so great was all these big bookstores and of course the Amazon, like to have these like small interactions, like person to person rather than buying a book online and it comes into, to your door in a box. You can like buy it from the author, see the author, they can sign it. It's
Right.
personable. It's just, and I think it's a great trend and I hope it continues.
Me too. I meeting all of you is definitely like it's like I just kind of feel special. I literally had a friend message me yesterday, and
Mm,
she's one of the people that always gives me book recommendations. And she
hmm
sent me a picture of a book from a Minnesota author that she was like, "You need to read this." She's like, "This book broke me, but like
Oh,
you need
I
to read this book." And I was like, I know her. I
was just
made
gonna
that
say, yeah.
book into a cookie. I was like, wait, I know this
Oh, that's
author.
cool.
And so I sent the message of my friend to the author, and I was
That's
like,
awesome.
I'm like, this is so cool that, and I told her
Mhm.
because that friend was supposed to come and help me at the book fair. And then last
Oh,
minute had something else come up. And I was
mm,
like, you could have met her. And
I know,
she was so
right?
upset. She was like,
Oh,
this book is one of those books that's going to stick with me all year. And
oh,
she was like,
wow.
I am kicking myself because I think it makes the books, we all read these books for different reasons. But, I feel like a
Yes.
lot of us, to be able to like actually go up and talk to the author who like wrote this thing that just made an impression on you,
Yes.
it's just so cool. It's kind of like meeting a
Mm-hmm.
celebrity, it just, and it
Mm-hmm.
makes it more
Mm-hmm.
special. And if I meet an
Mm-hmm.
author and I read their book and I love their book, I'm going to keep buying their books because I know what kind
Right.
of person they are and how amazing they are. And so I love the book fairs. I think it is so cool. And
Mm-hmm.
I I love supporting all the other authors, but like the fact that you guys are all like independent authors, you put in so much work to write these books, publish it yourself. Like you're doing all the
Right.
work too. Like
Mm-hmm.
you totally can relate. So I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I much rather support you all because I like it would, and it'll be so cool to see like if any of you get picked up and to be like, I know them.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, it's just very cool. It's just, yeah, it's very personable. It's local. It's real. It's genuine. I feel like, the way things are shifting in the world, it's less genuine. We have so much more AI and all this stuff. So this kind of stuff is obviously what people like, and I think it's wonderful because it's flourishing, and I think it's going to continue and get even bigger and bigger because,
So,
you
mhm.
know.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it's why we all like going to farmers markets over going to grocery stores.
Yeah.
Personable and
Yes.
and it's also crazy because I feel like people don't interact as much anymore. More people work from home and everyone's on their phone and like
Yes.
we have like a disconnect in like
Mm-hmm.
spending time together. And I think this also helps like people going out and connecting, and
Mm-hmm.
I like it. I'm all for it. More book fairs, please.
Absolutely. Well, this was so much fun. And so obviously I'll put your links down in the podcast show notes so people can find you and order stuff from you. But
Yeah.
obviously so what is the cutoff right now? It's September because this is gonna air. Well, it's gonna air this August, but it's probably as soon as possible. But so September is your cutoff for special, right?
Yep. For custom orders, it's September. So I think I have 2 more weekends left in September that I still have openings.
Mm.
Um, the weekend of the 15th, I still have a couple openings, and oh gosh, there's another one too. I think the last week, I think I still have opening, and then yeah, October I'm done because I'm doing 3 markets. I'm doing a market on October 12th, October 26th, and then November, it's either second or third. So
Mm.
October is closed since I'm doing so many markets and Halloween,
Mm-hmm.
and then we get started into the holidays.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, if you need an order the weekend of September 15th, let me know. Get
Yeah,
it in
better
quick.
act.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. This was super fun. I loved chatting with you and getting to know you more. And thank you for what you do. It's a unique thing, and I think it's super special.
Of course. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun.
It was fun. Well, you have a good day.
You too. Thanks, Julie.
Okay. Yep. Thanks. Bye.